Hi, I'm Jessica Lahr, and welcome to another edition of FLX Weekly here at FLX Well, it's September. We're almost into October, and I'm joined here in the studio with FLX President Jim Sinacropi, lead news editor Josh Durso, and network administrator Jessamy Uticone. Good to be with you all again.
Nice to spend another hump day with you.
Yep, here we are.
Well, in the next half hour, we'll be talking about this week's top local news, your best bet weekend events here in the Finger Lakes, the weekend weather outlook, sports lineup, and more, including our top local photos of the week. One of the biggest stories of the week was actually the presidential debate, obviously. Did anyone tune in?
Yeah.
I tuned in.
I hope.
How could you not?
Yeah, I didn't watch
Yes.
it live because I had something else going on, but I watched it in its entirety after, and my main takeaway was like they didn't debate any issues; they just like took jabs at each other. I mean, we're looking for a president here, not the class president at Penn Yan Academy in 1999. This is president of the United States. It's just the level of discourse is really indicative of our society going to crap.
Yeah.
The upcoming vice presidential debate might be more interesting in terms of substance than
Probably
anything
right.
else. It probably will be a little more rewarding to watch that one.
Uh-huh.
October 9th, I think.
That could be,
I
yeah.
believe so.
And then there's two more debates coming up.
Yes,
So yeah,
that'll be interesting. Hopefully they'll cover some ground.
yeah, it's crazy. I've never seen anything like this in my life. This presidential campaign.
No, I know.
So
Very tit for tat, right?
Canada, here we come. Maybe.
Ooh,
Wow.
I don't think so. I'm too attached to America.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's get started by kicking it over to Josh for our FingerLakes1.com news this week.
A true American.
All right, so did anybody hear about the fire? So there was a fire in Phelps, a massive barn fire in Phelps, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
A metal barn used to store hay at DeBoover Family Farms in Phelps caught fire. The massive fire took 90 minutes to bring under control, which put around 200 cows at risk. Luckily, they were able to, employees that is, were able to remove all of the cows from the at-risk area. Two barns, they say. One was completely destroyed. The other one might have been a little bit damaged. That was where the cows were. No people or animals were injured in the fire, but that was the big story on Monday. Lots of pictures on social media and everything else of people driving around Ontario County taking pictures because the smoke had carried.
There's a
great
pretty
distance.
cool video linked from our story on the front page of Finger Lakes One of neighbors and other farmers that were on scene helping move all those cows.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's a pretty cool video. It's like they're herding cows from one barn to another, and it was pretty amazing. But
You think about how many cows that is. 200 cows.
Yeah,
that is a
that's a
lot
lot.
of cows.
it's a lot of
It is.
filet mignon.
That's what it is.
Or milk. You know, I had a funny little quick story about a friend of mine from North Carolina who I went to college with, and I brought him to town in Seneca Falls. And he looked at our cows. He started laughing. He said they were wimpy cows because they're dairy cows. Down there, they had the beef cows.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, forever that's worth. Carry on.
Another bit of fiery news. Two miners in Seneca Falls were charged with felony arson, Class C felony. Friday night, first responders and law enforcement were called to Jimmer's Auto, right near our studio, actually, for the report of a vehicle fire. The fire was quickly put out, but the fire had caused damage to two other vehicles that were sitting around it. An investigation was immediately launched, and two 14-year-old males were subsequently charged with arson in the third degree, a Class C felony.
How old?
14
14
years
yeah.
old. Investigators say the fire was started with a portable butane torch.
Uh-huh.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
So they weren't just messing around.
There was intent, obviously, for them to be charged. For 14-year-olds to be charged with felony arson, you have to think about the intent behind the move. And a portable butane torch, mobile, it was a handheld type of torch. So there was clearly intent there. Names obviously being withheld because they're minors, of course. New ownership for a well-known shopping center near Auburn. It's in Aurelius, but everyone knows it as Auburn. Finger Lakes Crossing in Aurelius was sold for $13.1 million to Northeast Capital Group. The company has made the announcement on Tuesday. The transaction was processed as a 1031 Exchange, which is an IRS designation that defers capital gains or losses. The 245,000 square foot facility currently houses the Home Depot, Dick's Sporting Goods, Kohl's, and Petco. Also included in that transaction is the 70,000 square foot property located closer to 5 and 20, which houses multiple smaller shops in front of, or behind rather, Chili's and Buffalo Wild Wings. The big announcement, I guess, that came out of that was that they are intensely searching for, and it sounds like they are coming down to the wire on finding a tenant for the old Circuit City building, which has been vacant now for, I want to say, 3 or 4 years. And before that, a few random tenants had come and gone. But filling that gap would be very good for that
thing
area.
about this story is right across the street you have the Finger Lakes Mall, which is struggles are well documented. And do you think that place would sell for $13 million?
Probably not.
And it's just because it's enclosed and indoors, where the other one's like a strip mall with the bigger spaces for department stores. But it's kind of like the tale of two cities there. And really, the development across the street from the mall came about after the Bass Pro came into the Finger Lakes Mall. It's just kind of sad what's going on at Finger Lakes Mall and all the things they're doing to struggle to survive. And then across the street, this property sells for $13 million, and they're chock full of tenants. And
I was going to say occupancy, I feel like, has a big role in how much value is actually packed into one of these places.
You can only fit 1 or 2 big retailers in the Finger Lakes Mall. That's more for smaller, retailers. But across the street, you have the big.
And there was the scare earlier this year where Kohl's had announced they were closing several stores, and that Auburn location was one of the ones that people wondered about whether it would stay open or not. It remained open, and it obviously not intended at all to close, but I think just in general, that's the powerhouse in Auburn, that particular plaza. And, of course, tonight we will have complete coverage of the Community Forum on Local Law Number 7 in Seneca Falls. We'll have video, recap, highlights, the whole 9 yards. The big question has been, to this point, what's the difference between a public hearing, which was originally scheduled for tonight, and a community forum?
This is to do with the landfill, the local law, the potential that would force Seneca Meadows to stop.
Correct.
Operating, but what in effect would really happen probably is it would force Seneca Meadows would then stop paying the town and still keep operating while it was in litigation.
Right.
So, okay.
The big difference, though, between public hearing and community forum: public hearing triggers a vote, a board vote. Community forum does not. Obviously, this has been a well-documented over the last 6, 7, 8 months story. That said, some people are hoping that some sort of action can be taken, or at least moved towards tonight, heading into October and November.
So we'll have the full video of that, which could be 3-4 hours long, I guess.
Yeah, it's scheduled to start at 7 and end at 11. If turnout is high, it could easily last that long, because I don't believe there is any time limit on how long individuals can speak or ask questions or, what have you.
Interesting.
Okay.
But that is the news this week from FingerLakes1.com. And as always, check out FingerLakes1.com for the latest news and
or
updates.
the free iPhone and Android app.
Yes.
Thank you, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.
We've really had some great weather in September here, and comfortable temperatures will continue as we head into October on Saturday. But there will be a threat of rain through the end of the week into the weekend. Friday will be cloudy with a high in the upper 60s and a 50% chance of rain. Saturday will be mostly cloudy with a high in the lower 70s and again a 50% chance of rain. Sunday will be partly sunny with a high in the lower 70s and a 30% chance of rain. Overnight lows will drop into the upper 50s over the weekend. I'm hoping it doesn't rain on Saturday.
Yeah, there's less, like they say, 50% chance means 50% chance is not going to rain.
Right.
And usually when it's around 40 or 50, it means that if it does rain, it's not a washout type of scenario. Yeah. And we're going to have the first weekend of October, and you're talking about highs in the low 70s. Perfect.
Yeah,
The summer of
perfect.
pleasant weather just keeps continuing.
Mm-hmm.
Cloud cover, though. A lot of cloud cover this weekend.
Yeah.
We could use some of that rain.
I know.
Yeah, we
just-
had another article about
that's it.
wells running dry in the Finger Lakes right now.
Sure
Yep.
did.
Yeah, it was a rough summer.
And then the other thought is if we have a light snow winter, then we're really going to be behind the 8 ball in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
But
I hear
hey,
that's not going to be the case, though.
you think we're going to get a lot of snow or the Farmer's
I heard
Almanac?
that. I don't. I heard it. I've heard it multiple times.
And
No,
it's
not
supposed to be a
Farmer's Almanac.
nasty winter for us.
Do we
right?
trust the Farmer's Almanac?
I don't know. Has anybody ever done a study about the Farmer's Almanac's accuracy?
I'm sure
I
there
don't
has
know.
been.
Yeah, there must
Yeah.
be. We'll research that. Maybe talk about it next week.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, as always, check out the latest local forecast and live radar at the local weather center here at FingerLakes1.com. Looks like the weekend should be a hit or miss. Just me. What is there for everyone to do?
Okay, regardless of the weather, there's lots of activities for folks. As usual, we've compiled them here. First off, the Hunt family will be hosting their 27th annual Harvest Festival at Hunt Country Vineyards in Branchport. That's on Saturday, so hopefully it doesn't rain Saturday, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and then again on Sunday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. There will be wine, food trucks, not food and trucks, food trucks, where you get food from the truck, live music, workshops with the Hunt Country winemaking team, grape stomping, hay wagon rides, pumpkin painting, craftspeople and artists. Admission is free. Standard
Wow.
wine tasting is free also. Visit www.huntwines.com for more details.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, that's like a lot of free family fun right there.
Yeah.
Down
Pumpkin
in
painting, you kidding me?
Branchport on Cuga Lake.
Yeah, get to
It's
Branchport.
Cuca Lake.
Cuca. So pretty
Cuca.
there.
Get to Branchports. That's Sunday from 11 to 5, or Saturday, yeah. Saturday from 10 to 6, Sunday from 11 to 5. Okay. Next, Thursday through Friday this week is the annual Wine Country Circuit Dog Show at Sampson State Park in Romulus. This has been a favorite every year here.
People love this.
Yeah, it's great. 4 days of AKC sanctioned all breed dog shows, including conformation, obedience, rally, agility, and lure coursing. Everybody knows.
That's my
everybody
favorite.
knows and loves lure coursing.
That's my favorite.
Sure, absolutely. One of the largest outdoor dog shows in the country. Admission is
Wow.
again free for spectators.
Gotta love free.
I've only heard good things about this. If you're a dog lover, it's well worth it just to drive up there to Sampson. And it's free, so you can go check it out for 20 minutes if you want. You can stay all day. Everybody loves dogs.
That's Thursday and Friday. So you could go do free things Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday so far if you want. Lots of stuff.
Yeah.
on
That's
a
not
budget.
all. That's
Yeah, it's not all. If dogs aren't your thing, then the Great Cortland Pumpkin Fest is taking place on Saturday and Sunday at Courthouse Park in Cortland. The festival offers something for everyone. Crafters, children's games, food, antique tractors, hay rides, exhibits and displays, and tons, literally tons of pumpkins. Visit CortlandPumpkinFest.org for more details.
I like a pumpkin fest. I can get behind that.
Yeah, tons of pumpkins.
Yeah. Tons.
Do you like chucking pumpkins
Yeah,
at
what do you
large
think?
distances?
How do you think about throwing pumpkins?
Or launching them
Through
with a
machine
Catapult?
catapulting
trebuchets.
them, yeah. Because you can do that,
Trebuchet
too.
lost.
Yeah.
Okay, Pumpkin Chunkin' weekends return to Varick Winery for the entire month of October. Release your tensions by hurling pumpkins every Saturday and Sunday.
There it is.
That's what I do all year round. That's how I release my tensions. And not only pumpkins, it's officially apple season. Did you know Wayne County is the #1 apple producing county in New York State?
No, I did not know that.
Now you
Wow.
Now you do. I told you. You heard it here first. Try driving yourself to one of the many farms and markets through the month of October to pick up and taste the different varieties of New York State apples along with baked goods, cider, fresh produce. Apples are in everything. Looking for more info? Visit appletastingtour.com and click on the Apple Tour locator for a list of destinations in Williamson, Sodus, Wilkett, North Rose, Newark, and Marion. These and more upcoming events on FingerLakes1.com.
What about the Ithaca annual Apple Harvest Festival? Is that not on your script?
I have nothing here about an annual Apple Harvest Festival, but can you fill us in on that?
Yeah, allow me, please.
will.
This was a late edition, but it's a big one. There will be 3 fun-filled days of apples, local produce, fresh baked goods, family entertainment, games, prizes, live performances on 2 stages at Ithaca's 34th annual Apple Harvest Festival beginning on Friday. Over 100 vendors will be sending unique apple varieties, hot apple cider, donuts, kettle corn, local farm fresh baked goods, and a multitude of around-the-world specialties. Local farmers are on site selling everything from tasty apple beverages to local pumpkins and, of course, apples, and more apples.
I love the
'Tis
Apple
the
Harvest
season.
Festival.
You've been?
I've been many years. It's great.
34 years.
I've been probably 4 of those years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's great.
I love it. I already made apple crisp.
Did you? How'd it come
Yeah.
out?
It was good.
Do you-
Apples. I didn't put enough apples in it. Kind of cooked down.
Wait a minute. That's the main ingredient.
Well, I thought it was enough, but you know how it cooks down
Yeah.
pretty.
I do. There's
So,
a lot of moisture that
It was
leaves.
so good with vanilla bean ice cream on top.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Are you going apple picking at all?
Yeah. I wanted to go this past weekend, but my husband said, let's just wait it out. Let's wait and go a little bit later and let them
He
be a
doesn't
little
have
bit
apple
sweeter.
fever like everyone else.
I know. I saw all these pictures of my friends going, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to go apple picking. It's so fun.
So this slate of events this weekend it cuts to the heart of autumn in the Finger Lakes. You got pumpkins,
Yes.
you got
Harvest time.
apples, and it's an amazing.
And the grape harvest
Time.
last weekend, it's harvest time in
I
the Finger
know.
Lakes.
It's time for fruit.
It is. It's fruit time.
Well, I think up next is sports. So you want to fill us in on what's going on there, Jim?
I do, because like the harvesting of apples and pumpkins, there's tons of sports going on around
Yeah.
here. Not locally, but probably dominating sports world this weekend. It's Ryder Cup week, with coverage on the Golf Channel and NBC on Friday through Sunday from Hazeltine Country Club in Minnesota. You can also stream the broadcast live on RyderCup.com, which might be useful for those of us working in the office on Friday. We previewed the Ryder Cup on Monday night's GolfJ.com podcast that you can access at FingerLakes1.com or FingerLakes1.tv, where we also remembered Arnold Palmer, who passed away on Sunday. The Buffalo Bills shocked the world when they rolled over the Arizona Cardinals on Sunday. They'll take their 1-2 record up to Foxborough to take on the undefeated New England Patriots this coming Sunday for a 1 o'clock tip. That game's going to be on CBS. And the Syracuse Orange look to win their second straight when they take on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish at noon on Saturday in MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Notre Dame fired their defensive coordinator, so they're in a bit of disarray. And I hate the fact that it's at MetLife Stadium because a lot gets talked about how Syracuse can't fill the dome for their football games, and this is a game that would likely sell out the dome, but instead it's going to be in New Jersey, which isn't much of a home field advantage. But
Yeah.
you heard it here first. Syracuse 38, Notre Dame 26.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
The Cornell Big Red look to stay undefeated when they travel to Hamilton, New York to face Colgate at 1 o'clock on Saturday. The 4-0 Hobart Statesmen will host the Merchant Marines at Boswell Field in Geneva for a noon kickoff, and you can listen to that game live on WEOS-FM. That's the Hobart student station. The Ithaca Bombers are home at Butterfield Stadium on Saturday at 1 o'clock to face Empire 8 foe Utica. The Bombers currently 1-2 on the season, and if that isn't enough football for you, let's check out the local high school slate. Friday night, Penn Yan will be at Pelmac. Geneva will travel to Ontario to face the Wayne Eagles. E.R. Gananda will be in Newark to face the Reds. Marcus Whitman will host Minders, and in what has become a huge rivalry. And again, if you love football, head over to Clyde for this one on Friday night. Red Jacket will face Clyde Savannah at Dercola Field. It should be a great game. All the games I mentioned kick at 7 with the exception of the game in Clyde, which is set for 7:30. And then on Saturday, Victor's at Rush Henrietta for a 2 p.m. kick. Canandaigua will host Greece Olympia at 3 p.m. Lions is hosting Chautauqua Lake at 6. That's a long drive for the kids from Chautauqua Lake. I don't know how that game got set up. And Waterloo will be at Mid-Lakes for a 7 p.m. kick. We'll have all the scores throughout the weekend here at FingerLakes1.com of all those high school games and all those college games, and the Bills and Syracuse. We'll have it all. Also in sports this week, the Carrier Dome naming rights may be renegotiated after when they built the Carrier Dome in 1980. Stadium licensing wasn't such a big deal, and it wasn't a thing yet. And Syracuse was kind of progressive in the fact that they got the Carrier Corporation to pony up $3 million for naming rights.
That was a huge deal.
the mistake was it was like forever. You know, they gave him $3 million, and so now Syracuse, by not being able to sell the naming rights to the Carrier Dome, is forfeiting as much as $5, $6, $7 million a year.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's such a well-known facility when it's on national TV a lot, especially in basketball season. So, so they're actually renegotiating that, which I think you would really need the Carrier Corporation to be nice about it, because if they wanted to, they could say, sorry, the deal was forever.
Right.
And I don't want to see it really change, because the Carrier Dome is the Carrier Dome. I don't want it to
But it would be nice to
Right.
have some recurring money coming in for it.
Yeah, it would, especially in the state, the college athletics now, you need that money. So we'll see what happens there. The Binghamton Senators of the AHL are moving out of Binghamton to Belleville, Ontario. I don't think too many people will be too upset about that around here, but maybe in Binghamton there's some fans of the B-Sens. And then Josh Durso, our own Josh Durso, won the Silver Creek Club Championship last weekend.
Finger Lakes won.
With a 73-80, and so there's a champ right over there.
I didn't know that. I was sitting next to a champion.
I know.
A winner.
Congratulations.
A winner is in your presence.
It's your temperament. You have the temperament of a winner.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's that calm.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Josh.
And that's all the sports I have, but it's going to be a busy sports weekend. Log on to fingerlakes1.com, click on sports, and boom. Our sports page is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Just
It's the best.
without a doubt. I mean, with the other our competitors locally do not have this comprehensive coverage of the sports landscape in the Finger Lakes. It's really the one place you got to go.
Everything. You
Yep.
can get everything in one place.
Make us your homepage.
Well, let's jump into the top local photos of the week. The New York State Canal Corp tugboat Syracuse and inspection crew exited Lock 26 in Clyde on Wednesday after performing annual inspection of Lock 26 and facilities.
He has a mustache.
This photo by Robert Stopper. Are you jealous?
Yeah.
From Nancy L. Wright, local Mennonites head home on a glorious autumn Sunday afternoon on a backcountry road in Yates County. I love that.
That is real nice, isn't it?
It is. This sunflower, photographed by Luann Lurch, was holding onto its petals on Monday during the last week of September in Romulus.
That's kind of nice, too. And there's a bee on there.
That's so
There is a bee.
cool.
Let's see him.
We've seen a lot of sunflower pictures. That's a really cool one. And one of the last we'll see, I'm sure. All right. From Marcia Clue, 3-year-old Skiff Pittard, son of owners Dave and Melissa Pittard, helped harvest the Merlot grapes Sunday afternoon at Buttonwood Grove Winery in Romulus.
Cute.
Oh my gosh, what a little cutie.
Child labor.
All right. Drum roll, please. The next 3 are from Jim on his Samsung Galaxy 7.
Wow.
Yeah, we did a little wine tour. I did a little wine touring on Saturday, and I played in a golf tournament in Geneva, and I snapped some pictures. I took some of the choice ones here to share.
They take great pictures.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Now, please correct me if I'm wrong. Jim Stoyer, thank you, of Thirsty Owls leads a tour of the winery and grounds on Saturday afternoon. Here he explains how the Chancellor grapes are amongst the oldest vines in the region.
Now, the one thing I learned on this tour, and you'll see Seneca Falls librarian Tara Montoni in the background there checking out some of those grapes. But I learned that Thirsty Owl makes a Malbec. It's the only winery, I think, in the Finger Lakes that makes a Malbec. And then when we did the tasting, I was like, let me try that Malbec. And they're like, we're out.
No.
But I'm really intrigued to try the Malbec.
Yeah, I love
and these were
Malbec.
Chancellor grapes, which I guess these vines are the oldest Chancellor vines in the area, too. So
That's cool.
Jim Story's the best. He also owns Driftwood Inn Bed and Breakfast on Hugo Lake. So
Oh, great. It's beautiful. All right, next up, the roof over Americana Vineyards in Interlaken, overlooking Cayuga Lake early Saturday evening.
Americana may be one of the underrated stops on the wine tour.
That
Great
place is
food,
great.
You
great
know,
food,
I don't think I've ever been there.
and great
the
beer
cafe there
too.
is amazing.
Yeah,
All right.
the food is great. The beer
Gotta
is
stop.
I've never
great.
had the beer, but I do like their wine.
So they have beer and wine.
Yes,
They do.
Oh, great. Okay.
They have a very dry red called Baco Noir. That is the best.
Oh.
It's the driest of dry.
Okay. I
My
love
favorite.
dry red. So.
Wow, you should try it.
I will. All right, and last, the sun sets over the 5th green at Geneva Country Club during their 2-man scramble event on Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening.
That's a nice shot, boss.
Yeah, it is.
It was a nice day on Sunday, high 60s, and when I took this picture, I didn't really realize it until I looked after it later, but man, that's nice.
It's beautiful.
It's the 5th green, and Geneva Country Club did a great job with the event. Head pro John Rossi and company do a good job. So
great.
So there's that.
Well, do you want to update us on any network highlights?
Yes, quickly as we're up against it, we have on Weber this week, Kyle Black and Mark Benjamin from Seneca Meadows were in studio ahead of the public forum tonight in Seneca Falls. GolfJ.com, as I mentioned, previewed the Ryder Cup, talked about Arnie Palmer, and talked about the fact that Rory McIlroy won the Tour Championship, which is kind of overshadowed by the other news of the week in golf. Kenny's Two Pennies. Kenny gave his recap of the presidential debates, which is worth watching for it's about 10 minutes long, that show. The Crash Course podcast. The boys from the Crash Course are going to Utah. As a matter of fact, they're probably in Utah. They're leaving for Utah tomorrow to live webcast a major demo derby event in Utah that you can watch on FingerLakes1.tv this weekend. And Josh, inside the FLX this week.
Tomorrow, 2 o'clock, Seneca County Board of Supervisors, Steve Churchill. He's going to be on to talk about the landfill, Seneca Falls issues, and a bunch of other stuff.
Nice, and he's got some new news, maybe
possibly yes, possibly some new news on the new municipal building.
Okay.
Sounds
and then
great.
Here we go, October time, right?
Yes. So into October, we'll see you next time in October.
Everybody always says, "I can't believe how fast. Where did September go?"
I know.
But this is, to me, that's what it feels like. How do you slow it down? The passage of time.
I don't know.
Make it
stop.
You can't. You
I don't
can't
know.
make it stop. It's just going.
I think you can take a different approach to things, though. The daily grind, sometimes you get into it, and next thing you know, the days just fly by. I think there's another approach to take that would slow the perception.
Sure.
Unemployment?
Maybe.
Staying present.
That could be a
Yes.
guide as
Always
well.
my goal.
Enjoy today.
Time marches on.
Appreciate
Time
the
waits
past.
for no man.
Enjoy the present. And look forward to the future.
Yes.
Wow, wise words from Jim Sincrope.
It's grandpa
All
territory right there.
Well, thanks for joining us for another edition of FLX Weekly. And remember, if you're watching us on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe. And if you'd like to drop us a line, please send us an email to contact@fingerlakes1.com. We'll be back live next Wednesday afternoon at 12:30 for another edition of FLX Weekly. Enjoy the rest of your week and the first weekend of October here in the Finger Lakes.